I don't know. Look, I'm right there with you. I think that takes all the power away from any general manager you may have wanted to bring in.
This is where there's no trust, there's no loyalty. Without that, you have no team. You can't build a team without trust and loyalty, period.
What do you got?
This is a SOT from Jimmy Haslam talking about what they're looking for in the next head coach.
Okay.
Key criteria we're looking for in our head coach. I think the first is intelligence. We need somebody that's smart. You obviously need somebody who's a strong leader, somebody who is collaborative and can work well with others.
You see his eyes? His eyes are not even looking straight. They keep going back and forth. You lying, dude.
He's talking to everybody who's in the room.
Man,
what do you mean he's
lying?
lying?
Look straight, man. Don't even. You ain't got to look at everybody. You answering to everybody already. They can hear you. Keep your eyes straight. Focus on one. Just focus.
Real quick, because I want to go to Craig and Liddell here in a second. Well, go ahead.
Let me ask you guys this: what if you had one attribute in the next head coach? What would it be? What would you guys want in the next Browns head coach?
Somebody that's a winner.
Already proven.
Proven.
Yeah,
I think proven's the one word I think.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. Can the Browns get a proven winner in this league?
No. Don't nobody
Depends how much Jimmy's offering in money. How much money is Jimmy offering, and how does he spin the control, the collaborative control that the new head coach will have?
How many other teams are going to do this to another coach? That's the question. If other teams do it, then yeah, you get somebody that say, okay, I want to come here. If other teams are not doing that too, they're going to be like, man, I ain't going there.
Who are you looking at, though, if you're going to do that? And, you know, the talk about Adam Gase I think is interesting if you want to do the Peyton Manning theory. But do you want Chuck Pagano here? Do you want, I'm trying to think of
Terrell Austin?
Yeah,
Sean Payton, if he becomes
Does the way
available.
the Browns
Adam
system,
Gase is a guy they loved 2 years ago but didn't get, so they settled for Mike Pettine.
that's true.
does the
They
way
wouldn't wait.
does the way the Browns system is set up now, does that set up for the possibility of a head coach and general manager to be the same person, or no? Could we see a Sean Payton?
No.
Could we see a Sean Payton take both responsibilities maybe as a way to bring him in?
But again, why would you want that if you're not ultimately in control of the 53-man roster?
Exactly.
And is Sashi Brown just going to be a yes man to the head coach? If that's the case, then maybe you've got a chance.
Then yeah, get Sean Payton, pay him as much as he wants. You do what you need to do. You trade Johnny Manziel, you get rid of somebody else, and you do that. But if not, then no.
All right, let's bring in Craig. Craig, who joins us from Waiting for Next Year. Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How's it going? I've spent the last 12 hours trying to figure out what the Browns are attempting to accomplish.
Okay.
And that's really where I'm trying to start.
Give me a solution here, because we're trying to still figure this thing out, too. I think if they hire a coach pretty fast and he knows what he wants, then Jimmy had a plan. He clearly had a plan. Now, we know there are some rules they've got to go through to execute it. I hope he does. I hope he's got a plan, and I hope this thing moves forward. But to me, it smells a lot like George Kokinis, although the head coach isn't going to have control of the 53-man roster like Mangini was. So what do you got? What do you think?
Well, I think it's interesting because people are looking at Sashi Brown and they're trying to figure out, well, what is this non-football guy going to do with the 53-man roster? And I can't tell you that it's going to work, but I think I understand what they're trying to do. They're looking at a guy who's got expertise in terms of cap, contract, somebody who can kind of bridge the gap between the analytics side and the football people, the scouts and people like that, and the coaching staff. And it seems like they're setting up for more like the San Francisco model, where they had Parag Marath and Trent Baalke and Jim Harbaugh before their entire defense retired. But it seems to me that they're going for that really strong head coaching candidate who wants to have a lot of control over personnel and scouting and choosing his players.
Can I say one thing about
Sure,
this guy, Sashi Brown? He came from Jacksonville. How many games did they win? How many games have they won over the past however many years?
But his job wasn't about winning and losing there. It was about being their general counsel. I mean, he needed to be a lawyer.
All I know is this.
And this is what he was here, a lawyer.
Okay.
I would
anything,
argue
they
now, though,
went and they
that the
hired
Jaguars
somebody
are one of
who's
the best
like-
up-and-coming teams in NFL right now.
Hang on, Craig, go ahead.
After
Sorry.
getting their head smacked last night the way they did?
Yeah.
Sure they are.
If
Yeah.
if anything, this is kind of like another Joe Banner, hopefully without the scowl and the anger. I mean, this is a non-football guy, a contract guy who's going to be kind of in charge of the direction of the roster. And it's man, it is Joe Banner-esque in a lot of ways, but you hope without the inability to attract candidates, which was Joe Banner's major downfall.
I just think that they could have put Sashi in this position. I don't know that they had to say he was in charge of the 53-man roster last night. I think they could have come to that determination. This is why I really hope Jimmy had a plan, and this plan is going to be executed because you closed down a lot of walls by the way you set the situation up last night. You closed down any general manager that would ever want to come to Cleveland because they want to be in control of the 53, and you also kind of closed down the gap between having a general manager that's going to come in and hire his own head coach. I mean, they closed a lot of walls by the way they presented this last night. Now, if he has a plan, knows who his coach is going to be, knows who his general manager is going to be, that's fine, but I would hope we'd find that out sooner rather than later. If it's later, we're looking at, and Kenny will probably join in on this too, we're looking at the same problems we had last time. You're going to be on your 5th or 6th or 7th choice.
It's 4 or 5 organizations that are going to lose their coaches or have lost their coaches, including ours. I think New York is going to lose their coach. He's going to resign or step down or whatever.
Tom Coughlin.
But you got coaches that are out there and say, well, I'm going to go to this defense or I'm going to go to this offense where I got talent here. I got an Odell Beckham and I got a Jason Pierre-Paul or whatever. And I know what I can do with these guys if the owner and the GM are working, we all working together and not having somebody say, oh, well, this guy's going to run our 53-man roster. You're going to answer to him. You got to answer to this guy. Somebody's got to answer to the head coach. It's too many ins and outs. Mm-hmm. You know, just make it straightforward.
And there's one missing name.
Go ahead.
Alex Shiner. Where's Alex Shiner's name? What's he going to do? I mean, this elevation of Sashi Brown feels like an Alex Shiner move. It feels like somebody who's part of Alex Shiner's, his style, his format, getting elevated to the other side of the wall, but his name was not mentioned in terms of the coaching hire. It was not named at all yesterday, and that was a surprise to me.
I think that clearly it was done on purpose. And as you said, Craig, he was a part of the last 2 searches. So he's not in this one. But if you look at...
They want to have someone to blame if everything goes wrong.
Well, look,
that's the way it looks to
again,
me.
like I said before, Sashi and Alec have a history. And it goes back to right out of college where they were at the same law firm. And I don't know that a lot of people are talking about that.
Law.
Well, that's what they are. They're both lawyers.
Right,
and so, but Alec, to me, is being rewarded and also being clarified. So his job is clearly the business side of this thing. And Sashi's going to lean on the football side, the business football side of it, where Alec is in charge of marketing and trying to make sure all those ticket revenue things are going out there and sponsorships and corporate partnerships and all those things. Look, the guy has increased the value of the franchise, whether it was Joe or just little things along the way. The value of the franchise is $500 million more than when Jimmy Haslam bought it. That's why Alex Shiner is still here. That's why Alec, I think, is still a part of this organization.
And that's great, but at the same time, like, he's trying to run it like it's Pilot. This is not Pilot. It's the Cleveland Browns.
It's fine. You're the third person that said it to me, that this is very business.
It's not Pilot. It's the Cleveland Browns. It's a football organization rich in tradition, and you got to have somebody that's saying, well, we want to come here, and we want to coach these guys because we can find some guys in the draft, but we can also bring in some veterans that want to play here and that love to play for this city. It's so many kids from Cleveland, the inner city of Cleveland, that would love to play for the Browns, and they won't bring none of them back. Like, they had a chance.
I have one counterpoint to that.
Okay.
And Pierre, the only reason that I would say maybe slow down a little bit is let's see. I mean, they've put their cards on the table, and they're whether they can win the hand or not is anybody's guess. It all comes down to this coach that they can attract. If they can attract this top-line superstar coach that's going to enable them to bring in those kinds of players and those kinds of people and make those kinds of moves happen, then they will have won. But we're right to be skeptical that this setup is going to allow them to get that kind of coach.
3 letters.
You think, Craig? I mean, go back and look at what Haslam's done with the Browns as well as Pilot Flying J. Since he's been here, he's been an unmitigated disaster with both of his businesses.
Ooh.
Although financially, the Browns they're a disaster when it comes to wins and losses. But for the bottom
That's all that
line,
matters
they're
to the
success.
fans, right?
Yeah,
It shouldn't that be the most important thing? You talk about how much you care about the fans and that. Does he really care about the fans, or is he just happy that his franchise has increased in value?
Bands will make her dance. That's the phrase now. Because
No,
you
I
talk
agree
about
with
coach.
Kenny, but it comes down to this coach. If they hire the right coach.
WHO.
All right, Craig, I just want to get your take on this before we let you go. Johnny Manziel, are you done with Johnny after the last 24 hours?
Let me see him in the
man.
streets.
It doesn't matter. It matters whether the new coach is done with him or not. I think I am. I think the Browns are. I can't imagine any coach coming in here going, yeah, I'm going to bet even 1 year of my career on this guy.
Well, even if they wanted to bring in a guy who would be like a guru to him, I put it this way: the whole deal yesterday, to me, and this picture on top of everything else, is a big middle finger to the franchise. He doesn't want to be here. He does not want to be here. This is just what he has proven time and time again. I can understand frustration or this or that. This kid is not serious about football, and I'm just kind of blown away by the last 24 hours, especially after I thought maybe he had figured it out with football. But I mean, that was a gigantic middle finger to all of your teammates in the organization yesterday.
He should have been on the sideline.
And then I also wonder if this whole concussion protocol thing, if it wasn't just a play. And if that's the case, the Browns are going to be in trouble for that. You can't just play concussion, can you?
That's what Peter King said. Peter King said he wasn't even so sure that the concussion protocol was legit.
I don't think he had a concussion at all. That's
And
my personal
when
opinion.
we heard he got the concussion symptoms, he came in on Wednesday is when those concussion symptoms popped up. So
Okay,
if he didn't have a concussion, probably going to Vegas, like you said, Andy, was his middle finger to the organization.
Yeah, because, I mean, if it was concussion, Vegas is the last place you want to be on earth.
It's past the organization. What about your teammates, them guys that were rooting for you week in and week out? That's disrespectful to them. If I'm
Yep.
Dante Weird, I'm whooping your ass. I'm sorry. That's just me. Like,
If he
that's
did not
why
have a concussion, what's the story, though?
he saw.
Oh, what's the story? Go back to the Christmas video. Right? Go back.
Then
to
why
the
even
Christmas
play him
video.
after that? Or maybe he was forced to play him with Haslam and Ray Farmer letting him to play. That's why I said it's Cleveland chaos. That's what this is. It's Cleveland chaos. OIC only in Cleveland. You have this many ridiculous things happen.
And I'm at the point now with Johnny that I wanted to see what I don't just get him out of here. Get him out of here now. And if he's successful somewhere else, I'll have no regrets. It didn't work here. End of story. No regrets.
You seen Brian Hoyer and Brandon Wheaton tweet?
Craig, what do you have going on waiting for
They
next
were
year?
smiling.
Oh, we've got all the same stuff that you'll have going on all day long. It must feel like you've been in sports talk radio for a decade by this point. I know it's been, 4 years, 3 years?
Yeah, for me, and Kenny, you got to feel like you're the grandfather at this point. I mean,
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, I've been through this many. I was just looking this up. How about these names? The general managers, right? Here we go. You start off with Dwight Clark. That was, horrific under Carmen policy. Then Butch Davis, let's give him a little bit of credit, okay, because he's the only coach to take them to the playoffs, and he was the coach and the GM. Then it was Phil Savage, who I think is probably the best of the bunch so far, followed by George Kokinis. We know how that ended. Tom Heckert, he had issues away from the field like Johnny Manziel. Mike Lombardi officially for a year, and Ray Farmer for 2 years. Those are the guys that have been evaluating talent for the Browns since they've come back in 1999, and that's why they've made the playoffs just one time.
All right, thanks. Craig, we'll make sure we read you. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for a fun season.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Jackie Fernandez is standing by with her expert opinion. Jackie, what do you got for us?
I wanted to say good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning. It was nice being on Good Morning Cleveland with you this morning. It's always
Andy,
a pleasure.
you did a great job.
Thanks.
You were
I'm
on for
feeling
so
good
long.
about it.
Yes,
Feeling good about
it was
yeah.
good to be happy with all the ladies.
How do you feel about this Browns? Let's face it, if you're going to wake up, that's the good place to wake up to. Listen, tell me your thoughts on the Browns right now.
Okay, honestly, when we were talking
no, I
about,
want you to lie to us. Okay, go ahead.
I really hope that they get that new coach that you said had ties to
Peyton Manning.
Denver. Yes, and Peyton Manning, even though he's really old.
Define
know-
really old. Kenny, close your ears on this. You don't want to hear this. Define really old.
Like around your age?
Adam Gase.
I'm just kidding.
What'd you say? Oh, my age. That's really old. Thank you.
No, but that would be so great if he came.
If you can get Peyton Manning here.
How old is Adam Gase? He can't be older than 36.
Yeah, no, I think you're right in the ballpark. He's right there, is he?
He's one of the youngest coaches.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking him. I'm talking Peyton
You-
Manning.
Oh, you want Peyton Manning?
Yeah, but Peyton Manning's going to tell him what to do. He's the head coach.
You think so?
I know so.
Well, then the question is,
Same
do
thing he
you?
did out in Denver.
But here's the thing: would you move him in? Would you be willing to move Peyton Manning after 1 year of playing quarterback into this like general manager spot that doesn't have control over the 53-man roster?
Jason Kidd did it, and he's pretty successful right now. He's a
Kenny,
smart
would
guy.
you be willing to do
He knows
that?
football. He knows football.
Move Peyton Manning right in and give him the opportunity to
Yes.
make the football talent evaluations and that?
Yeah.
Could it be any worse than anything we've seen
No.
in the guys I
No,
just mentioned?
That's
Totally
true.
agree. Great
I would
point.
do it in a heartbeat.
That would be a